Hey everyone, this is Rocky from WeLearnChess.com, and back with another video in this Punishing Early Queen Activity series. And I actually made a video on the defense that I'm going to go over just now. About a year ago, before I had made the website, I started recording some videos. And it was actually a pretty good video, I think. I went over an old Paul Morphy game, and I was using Chessmaster at the time, and my rating was like, I think a few hundred points lower. So, but my hard drive crashed and I lost my videos. I did have a backup with Backblades. I got to see if I can get it back. If I can get it back, I'll post it up. If not, I'll have to make a new video. Today we won't go into all the really fun variations against this bad defense by Black, but I'll show you how even with mediocre play you can punish it. I had the white pieces and e4, e5, and my opponent played this funny move, queen f6, which is the McConnell defense. It's not very good because Black has to play several moves just to avoid getting into problems, and then his piece development is really awkward. So here you can either play knight c3, which I think is slightly favored by the computer, or bishop c4. I just played bishop c4. They both have their points. This move I thought was kind of funny. I had played this guy like a year ago too or something, and I think we split games or something, or I found it harder to crack this defense than I thought, but I'm going to give you a hint when we get a few moves in, so it'll help you if you have to face this. I haven't seen this move too often, but his idea is he wants to play c6 anyway, because as soon as I play knight c3, like almost everybody plays c6 in this because they're trying to prevent knight jumps here. Because this knight jump to d5, if he doesn't play this move to prevent it, it hits the queen, and the queen just has to retreat back here to avoid the fork on the c7 square, and then it's a bunch of time is wasted. So most people who, this is not really a great defense, but most people who play it, they figure that out at least. So that's one move that they have to play that's a little bit awkward. So, he wants to retreat the bishop back and then hopefully maybe play d5, which will also, inhibit my bishop's activity, but it's going to be hard for him to play d5 because I've got a lot of pieces on this square. So, so the game continues. Castling's fine here. And this is another move that Black is basically not forced to play, but d4 is coming with a tempo, and if he doesn't have this pawn here, my bishop can come out and actually trap the queen. And if you look, it actually doesn't have any squares, so just something like, I don't know, some move like this maybe. And if I were to play d4, and, well, even if he takes it, can I trap the queen still? Oh, actually, I don't know if I can here. No, I can't trap it here. But the queen does get in trouble. But d4 would be a good move there anyway, so. Okay, so anyway, he just wants to prevent this to avoid losing a tempo from the queen, but there are variations where you can actually trap it, especially if pieces start to clog up the other spots. Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. If you were to play knight e7, play knight e7 here, and let's just say I did something like this and he played here. Now I can trap the queen if he's not careful. So something like this. And yeah, this is all covered. This is covered by the bishop. This square is covered by the knight, by the pawn. Yep, it's officially trapped. So, and actually he does this maneuver in the game with this knight because he wants to protect this square. So that's even more sort of awkward moves that he has to make. So this is a lot of time that Black has to spend to avoid complete destruction immediately because I come in with a potential fork. So let me just reload this. I got too many variations here. Okay, so in the game, castled here, and he played this h6 move to prevent that bishop move, which you'll see a lot of people play. Well, you won't see a lot of people play this defense, but people who play this defense will play these moves usually. Okay, so here, this move actually was not very accurate for me. You should look to play d4 as early as you can in this opening because you're going to get activity for your pieces, and Black's pieces are still sort of clumped together here. And because Black had to play this awkward c6 move to prevent your knight jump, it took away this square for the knight. And because Black is going to have a hard time playing d5, he's probably going to have to play something like, bishop back here, then maybe d6, then try to get the bishop out, then maybe try to get the knight on like d7. So he's developing both his knights with 2 moves instead of 1. So this is just really because he's taken away both squares for his knights, the classical squares. So this time is what should signal to you that you should break in the center, as long as obviously you can do it. And you usually can break d4, and I knew that, but I didn't look enough. So rook e1 just is just a bad move. I mean, just like really gives up the initiative and gives him a chance to get out of it. So something like this, for example, like instead of rook e1, just playing d4 right away is great. Okay, what happens if he takes? If he takes, you always want to be on the lookout for this e5 move, and then really none of these variations are really going to favor him. I mean, like taking here. If he tries to take here, you even have this funny move, knight takes f7. And if you were to play this here, then, well, you could start with a check, I guess. Yeah, probably. Either a check or taking the rook. I mean, either way is probably going to be fine. Like, let's just say takes here, rook check, probably blocks or something like that. And then, yeah, I mean, well, you've got ideas here where you could play bishop a3. If he tries to, put some more protection here, which is what the computer recommends, you can actually queen out first. Now you're double attacking this bishop, and it can't move back here. So probably, try to stay active by putting it here, and then you can play bishop a3, and then basically the computer's already recommending to give up the queen, something like this, and then, you could take it from there, but it's already game over. So, so d4 is a big problem, because especially in this situation, because the pieces get forked. It's a big problem for black. So if he can't take it, what's he going to do? I mean, I forget what the computer's recommended move was here even. Probably knight e7, something like that. I mean, here I could probably already take. I think the computer wanted me to drop the bishop back, if I remember right. But yeah, you've got ideas. You could take this and this would be fine. I mean, even, let's see here. Something like this where if he played queen f3 here, and I mean, even castling looks a little dangerous, but what's he gonna do here? He still can't play d5, I don't think, right? d5. Yeah, he still can't play it. So he just loses a piece if he were to do that, obviously. So, so if he can't play d5 yet, I mean, what is he going to play? I mean, let's just say he castles, for example. At the very, very least, I mean, without looking at anything else, you have bishop f4 with the tempo and the queen. Wherever the queen goes, you have something like maybe rook d1, just to kind of keep more pressure, more protection on the square. Your rooks are going to be centralized. Your bishops are active. All your pieces are out. This queen's got to waste more time. And then on top of the queen having to waste more time, like wherever it's going, I don't know. Again, where's this knight going to develop? This knight, I guess, has got to probably go back here. My bishops are awesome. I've probably already got potential sacrifices looming. Maybe not on the next move, but it looks really, really bad for black. So, so this would have been fun, and it would have been much better than in the game. So this is the hint where if you play this McConnell defense, and you get a variation like this, which I have seen before, actually. I have seen this bishop move. If you get this any kind of variation like this, but even if the bishop's not here, so you don't have these forking ideas, just develop your pieces naturally, classically to their best squares, castle, and then don't waste time with other moves. Look to see if you can play d4. So that's what your objective should be. Open up, get your pieces, more activity while he's floundering around trying to get his development. So this game, actually, I mean, if you want to see the game, which we didn't play here. Oops. We didn't play that. He still had a really bad position. Actually, I made a couple bad moves. This is really bad. It was a sloppy game. We both made a lot of mistakes, actually. And he was winning in the middle, actually. I remember at the computer house for several moves, because I allowed some activity down here. But then he screwed up here and let me get my knight to f5, which caused a big pain. And here, actually, I'm doing a lot better. He could have found better ways to get rid of my pieces. Like on one of the next moves, he could have put his knight over on e7, try to trade this knight. And sorry, getting messages here from my email. And this wasn't really great by me, so I actually sacked the exchange here just because I wanted to see if I could still continue to attack. Here he could have just taken with the queen, and that would have been fine, and then I wouldn't have this little trick, but he fell into this. So then I was able to take here, and now I've got some threats again, better according to the computer. This was just dumb on my part. I could have just taken this here. I don't know what I was thinking. My pieces aren't hanging. I'm in great shape. Here I'm probably just flat out winning. Again, so, okay, so anyway, here, I forget what did I play here. Oh, G3, which is kind of dumb, because it also takes away squares from my other rook, which would like to come in there. This wasn't a great maneuver, but once he let me get it in, then it's not, he's not in great shape anymore. And here, actually, I did play the correct moves here. Except that here much better would have been this check, obviously, because if I can play this check with tempo wherever the king goes, then I can take this bishop. Well, I guess I could have taken with the bishop too. I don't know why the computer wanted me to take that. I'm not looking at the comp analysis right now, but I looked at it before, and I remember it wanted me to take with the pawn there, but I can't remember why. But in any case, I didn't see that check, and I think we were both getting low on time too, but not that low, actually. I should have seen it. I should have seen it. So, yeah, when we got to this position, eventually, I think he was really frustrated, so he eventually blundered. Like, he thought he was winning the entire game because he started cursing at me, all sorts of crazy stuff. Like, I didn't even say anything to him. He just, I think he said something to me last time we played, too. He's, like, just one of those people. Yeah, he just blundered here, and I could take the rook. But anyway, the passed pawns, I'm probably, yeah, the computer confirms that I was a lot better there anyway. Whoops, I played the wrong pawn there. I just realized this pawn's way better. But okay. Anyway, the game was a little more complicated than it had to be because of all the mistakes that I made. But just here, and then he let the clock run. He was letting the clock run for about like 3 minutes, and I was like, what is this guy doing? Because after he had like cursed me out all the time in the chat, I blocked the chat eventually. I mean, I got him my licks too, man. I'm not just going to sit there and take it if some dude's going off like a crazy dude. And while he was letting this go for 3 minutes later, I saw he left like 4 or 5 totally psycho comments on my profile. Yeah, I can't even block this guy because chess.com limits you to 200 blocks. So, you know, whatever. I block a lot of people just like when they're punks or whatever. But you know, what can you do? But anyway, this was just another video in this series on punishing early queen activity. And although I didn't manage to do it, we're going to see a couple more videos on this McConnell defense because it's really, there's a lot of fun games to look at. Actually, I shouldn't say there's a lot of games because basically no GMs or even like lower level masters ever play this. So you got to look at like lower level games or games from like 150 years ago. But okay, it is a little. It can be complicated if you don't do for the right patterns. But there are some fun. There's some fun situations where like this funny move here, where you can actually just let this pawn get taken on G2 and just go for an all-out attack. You get like crazy tempi on the queen, like 10 tempi on the queen. It's a fun Morphy game that I looked at in my other video, so I'll put that up too. But for right now, I hope you enjoyed that one, and take care.